The story of Noah's Ark is one of the most enduring narratives in human history. It has been told and retold for generations, transcending cultures and continents. The story is simple, yet powerful. A righteous man named Noah is warned by God about a great flood, an event so catastrophic that it would engulf the entire world. Noah is instructed to build a giant ark and take 2 of every animal on board, along with his family, to ensure the survival of life after the flood. The flood arrives as promised, wiping out all life except those aboard the ark. After the waters recede, the ark comes to rest on Mount Ararat. Noah, his family, and the animals disembark and begin the task of repopulating the earth. This story has resonated with people for millennia. It speaks to our deepest fears and our greatest hopes. The story of Noah's Ark leads us to ask profound questions. Did such a catastrophic flood really happen? Was Noah a real person? Would it have been possible for him to build an ark large enough to house 2 of every animal species? These questions have captivated theologians, scientists, and historians for centuries. The story's impact extends far beyond the realm of religion, inspiring countless works of art, literature, and music. The image of the ark, a symbol of hope and salvation, is instantly recognizable worldwide. The story of Noah's Ark continues to fascinate us, sparking our imagination and challenging us to confront the mysteries of our past. The story of a great flood isn't unique to the Bible. Flood myths appear in cultures all over the world, and these stories share striking similarities with the biblical account, suggesting a shared human experience or a common origin for these tales. In Mesopotamian mythology, the Epic of Gilgamesh describes a great flood sent by the gods. A man named Utnapishtim is warned of the impending disaster, builds a boat, and saves his family and animals. Ancient Greek mythology tells of Deucalion, who survives a flood sent by Zeus. He builds a chest to ride out the floodwaters, and along with his wife Pyrrha, repopulates the earth by throwing stones behind them, as if recreating the Adam and Eve story with clay. Hindu mythology features a flood story where a fish warns Manu about the coming destruction. Manu builds a boat and saves himself, 7 sages, and various seeds and animals. These stories, while differing in details, share common themes. A catastrophic flood, a chosen individual who is warned, a vessel built for salvation, and the world repopulated by the survivors. The prevalence of flood myths across different cultures suggests a few possibilities. These stories may be based on a real cataclysmic event that left a lasting mark on human memory. Perhaps these myths are our ancestors' attempts to explain the forces of nature, or maybe they witnessed smaller-scale floods, which could have inspired tales of a world-altering deluge. Whatever their origin, these flood myths remind us that the story of Noah's Ark is part of a much larger tapestry of human narratives, highlighting our shared fascination with the past and our desire to understand our place in the universe. The Bible describes Noah's Ark as an enormous vessel, 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. This translates to approximately 137 meters long, 23 meters wide, and 14 meters high. Would it have been possible to build such a massive structure with the technology available in ancient times? Skeptics point to the challenges, arguing that ancient people lacked the tools, materials, and engineering knowledge to build such a large, seaworthy vessel. Building a wooden ship of this size would require advanced carpentry skills and a vast quantity of wood. They question how Noah and his family could have obtained and transported the necessary lumber. Critics also point to the difficulties of waterproofing a wooden structure of this size and doubt that the ark could have withstood the immense pressure of the floodwaters and the waves. However, proponents of the ark's feasibility counter these arguments, pointing to evidence of sophisticated shipbuilding techniques in the ancient world. They highlight the Egyptians, known for their impressive boats. They also suggest that Noah may have had access to building materials and techniques not mentioned in the Bible. Some argue that the ark's dimensions were symbolic rather than literal, proposing that the ark could have been smaller than described. The debate over the ark's construction remains a point of contention, highlighting the difficulty of reconciling ancient accounts with modern scientific understanding. Whether or not Noah could have built the ark as described remains a matter of faith and interpretation. The story of Noah's Ark raises another logistical question. How could Noah have fit 2 of every animal species onto the ark? Scientists estimate that there are millions of animal species on Earth. Even if Noah had only taken animals from his immediate region, the number would still be staggering. Skeptics argue that the Ark, even if it were as large as described, could not have accommodated such a vast and diverse collection. They point to the challenges of providing food, water, and dealing with waste disposal for so many animals. They also question how Noah and his family could have managed and cared for all the different species, many of which are known to be dangerous or difficult to handle. Proponents of the Ark's capacity offer some counter-arguments. Some suggest that Noah may not have taken 2 of every species but rather 2 of every basic kind of animal, which would significantly reduce the number of animals on board. Others propose that God may have supernaturally intervened to make the animals more docile and manageable during their time on the Ark. They point to the biblical account which states that the animals came to Noah. The logistics of fitting all the animals onto the Ark remains a significant hurdle for those who interpret the story literally, requiring a certain suspension of disbelief or acceptance of divine intervention. However, the story's enduring power lies in its symbolic message of preservation and renewal, regardless of the literal feasibility of its details.